Mine is Terrence Gangster Williams, aka OG Giggity. I want to speak on today the Hot Boys beef with the Gotti Boys and the gang fight at the Club Detour. Shout out to Skiboo, shout out to Truth Be Told Hip Hop. But this is what really happened. Well, this is what the beef was behind. There was a big dog out the Melphamine Project that had to work. He had one of his children's mothers lived in the Magnolia Project. So he would hide his bricks in the Magnolia Project, his cocaine. Well, you know, how females be pillow talking and having their little beauty salon talk. So the female who have a baby by the guy out the Melphamine Project running her mouth, and one of the girls at the Magnolia Project go run back and tell Mosquito that is working that house. Mosquito bring it to doing it. So them two, they suit. Now I come in the house, what's going on? Oh man, look, such them got the bricks over such house. Man, look, we about to go in there and get that. So I'm like, no man, that's a good dude. Don't do that. Because we don't know what's gonna happen behind that. You know, that's gonna be some big problems, you know, because dude connected. You know, we in the streets, we getting it, but we don't just jack everybody, you know. And at the time, I had met the guy, and he was a real good guy. So, you know, they piped down, you know, a little upset about the situation, but they piped down. Like a few days later, I don't know who tipped the other homies off, but I'm not gonna say their name because they still alive. It was some other homies out the project that went in the house and hit. They only hit for like 5 kilos, and the boys, the Gotti Boys, they wasn't having it. They wanted some blood behind that, so they come in the project, shooting it in and everything, ain't hitting nothing. One time they come back there doing all that shooting. I guess the police got wind and chased them, and they dropped like, it was like 3 or 4 Mac 90s laying in a long driveway. So for the people who from New Orleans or from the project, you know, that was on the news, so you can verify that. They had the guns laying on the ground where they didn't drop their guns and kite it out. So, you know, they didn't get a chance to get that back. But the thing was, every time the Magnolia had beef with someone, the Hot Boys, we would step in. And one night, the Hot Boys and a few homies, matter of fact, there's a picture floating around with all of us in Club Detour that night. You know, the Gotti Boys, the Melphamine Project was like a block or 2 from the Club Detour. So, you know, they came there that night, they came there with it on their mind. You know, they see us in there, we in there, flies, and we like maybe 8 blocks from our project, and we like right by their project in the club, and they still got salt in their mouth, lemon taste of something in their mouth because of their coke missing. So we up in that thing, you know, throwing our thing, buying out the pitcher boo, you know, girls jocking us, you know, we doing our thing. So, you know, one of them, I don't want to say his name, out the MILF, he look at Sterling, him and Sterling already got a problem behind our female already. So Sterling like, F you looking at? And then one of the younger boys out the MILFs, he looking at you, Sterling threw the drink in his face and definitely went up. Only popping. I'm talking about running from in the club to outside the club, gang fight. But it wasn't no pistol play that night. That's surprising, now that I think about it. But it was just a big gang fight. And after that, one of them out the MILF caught Sterling in a cab, and he was on his way by a girl. Because they always tell him, man, sometimes you gotta switch up cars, you gotta go in different ways so people can't know what we in, what we got going on. So he jumped in the cab this particular night, and one of the boys at the MILF spotted him because the car pulled alongside the cab. They spotted Sterling, so they pursued him, tried to follow him. Sterling called us on the phone, so he had the cab to detour from where he was going. And one of the boys at the MILF thought they had him pinned. You know, we put up Mac 9s, SKSs. We got our dog. No, we didn't pull the trigger. Nothing happened that night. Everything went smooth. Our bro was good. And while there's ongoing beef going on, the big dog out the MILF Project sent word for me to meet him somewhere and speak, you know, and talk to him. I met him. We talked. I assured him that it wasn't nobody from our immediate circle that messed with their drugs. You know, we agreed to pipe it down a little bit. We didn't just straight call the truth because you had guys still out the Methamphetamine Project that still didn't like us and we didn't like them. But it was like, listen, when we see each other, we're not gonna shoot. We're not gonna get out of the way because that's not our beef. We didn't mess with your drugs. So, you know, some of the boys out the Melf, like a handful of them was like, yeah, all right, but you know, a person to say, yeah, all right, but you still can't trust them. But we didn't have no problems, but we all stayed our distance. You know, it was like, if I catch you down bad, then I'm gonna touch you. But other than that, you know, we never had no run-ins. And one day, you know, we got on some bull crap. You know, we rolled through the Melf, and caught one of the dudes on Clio. He had a book bag on his way, going through the ramp, by the ramp. You know, but it wasn't Clio, it's on the other side. I mean, coming around, wherever that little, when you go through one side of the ramp, go through the other, that's what they call the ramp in the Melf. Caught him, jacked him, made it out the Melf, we made it out the project, and he only had 3 birds in the book bag. He let it be known who it was because we ain't had no man back then. We were young and wild, so the beat started back up. Mel came in our project one night, cutting up, hitting. This particular night, the homie Red, Magnolia Slim, Chill Will, Doug, a lot of homies was out in the hallway, Skiboo, Logger, all of this, everybody was out. But you know, everybody was out, they smoking weed, just hanging out, and that was like a surprise attack by the Melf. So dudes had to get in the hallway, catch some shelter, and and matter of fact, it was only one head got out that night. So you know, they had to pop, let them know that we got something. Now don't try to run up, but because they was pinned in that hallway, the homies was pinned in the hallway. But just, you know, whenever it will try to, you know, stay at bay for a minute until you can get some reinforcement to come on in to help you out with the situation. And that's what happened that night. So it happened, you know, it was no casualty, you know, nobody was killed or none of that. You know, so I can't much, to be honest with you, I can't much tell you when have we ever squashed it. Like, I just think that over the years, people were killed, going to jail, and we just never, you know, ran across each other, but we never sat down and said, listen, man, my bad, or this happened, this, that's over with. We never done that. Why?